Welcome. It's the single African market, and this week the entire Secretariat is all the way in Durban, South Africa, and not just the Secretariat. I would tell you that businesses across the continent of Africa are all heading to Durban, South Africa for the Intra-Africa Trade Fair 2021 happening November 15th to November 21, all the way in Durban, South Africa. And I am happy to let you know that almost half or more of the innovators or entrepreneurs that we have profiled on this platform are exhibiting the IATF 2021 in Durban, South Africa. And that's good news. That is what encourages us. We expose them, and they also make the move, to be able to connect with partners across the entire continent. And we are happy because it prepares them for the AfCFTA. They get competitive. They get to see products and how it's being done elsewhere so that they can take advantage of that. Now, back here in Ghana, though, the NDPC, that's the National Development Planning Commission, is helping to localize or domesticate the AfCFTA. And this wind is blowing across Africa because President Buhari, all the way in Nigeria, is charging the NSS in Nigeria to ensure that they localize or they domesticate the AfCFTA in Nigeria. And here in Ghana, NDPC says they are going to ensure that the AfCFTA is owned by the local assemblies, because when the local assemblies own it, we will feel the effect of the AfCFTA at the municipal level, at the district level. They have launched the guidelines to guide the local assemblies towards this. The National Development Planning Commission, NDPC, has developed guidelines that would enable metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies, MMDAs, to fully harness the benefits of the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, AfCFTA. At the launch of the guidelines, Dr. Kojo Mensah Brampa, Director General, National Development Planning Commission, NDPC, tasked metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies to create an enabling environment for the private sector to thrive at the local level. He said the guidelines are expected to help local authorities put in place the right structures that will enable local businesses to take advantage of the opportunities provided by the Free Trade Agreement to enhance local economic development.
A lot of the well-initiated national programs are not sitting with the district assemblies. You don't find it in their plans, and you don't find a clear response in interpreting these national programs to really respond to their local situations. So today, we bring these two to work over here, leveraging the African Free Trade Continental Area and the opportunities that it provides for us, responding to the vulnerable situation of the district assemblies, the metropolitan municipal assemblies, and also localizing some of these nationally initiated programs.
According to the NDPC boss, creating a conducive environment will enable local assemblies increase their production capacities and take advantage of the opportunities provided by the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA. The guidelines, which seek to deepen the integration of local economies into the regional market and boost their trade performance and enhance planning capacities at the local level for effective participation in the AfCFTA, was developed by the NDPC through consultative processes with stakeholders including the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, the AfCFTA Secretariat, and with support from the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP. Udo Etukudo, economic advisor at UNDP Ghana, said the UNDP would support Ghana to integrate and fully operationalize the AfCFTA at all policy levels.
So the CFTA guidelines are a first step, and the institutions that we have at hand, most of you are here, the MMDAs. We need to capacitate the MMDAs to play their role. MMDAs need to be capacitated as we move forward in terms of mentoring some of these young entrepreneurs, and in particular the SME sector. Because the SME sector, from the data that I have seen here in Ghana right now, makes up 70% of your private sector. And this is key.
Michael Ocheribefi, Deputy Minister of Trade and Industry, reiterated government's commitment to take advantage of the AfCFTA to ensure socio-economic transformation of the country.
The African Continental Free Trade Area initiative has come at the right time. It's the right time because already the government has been championing entrepreneurship policies such as the One District, One Factory initiative and others. Achieving these policies will largely depend on the availability of the market, hence the African Continental Free Trade Area offers as the opportunity. As part of the effort to maximize and take full advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Ghana has initiated processes including national level conversation and strategy formulation to harness the opportunities that AfTA brings.
Nana Appiagyei Dankwaso I, immediate past president of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, who chaired the launching ceremony, commended the NDPC and its partners for the initiative.
The Ministry of Trade and Industry has been leading government efforts in putting in place the broad framework for Ghanaian businesses, participation in the single African market. I am happy that the Commission, in collaboration with the various stakeholders, have put together a guideline that will enable the Metropolitan, Municipal, and District Assemblies, MMDAs, to organize themselves and provide the needed support to local businesses that have the potential to export and also nurture others to come up to the level of being able to take advantage.
Stakeholders believe that the guidelines will not only help the assemblies mainstream their programs, but will also make their expected outputs a priority for them. So whether you like it or not, the AfCFTA is coming to you all the way down there. Even if you're in the villages, if you're in the rural communities or in the urban cities, it will still come to you. That is why we encourage you to tag along and understand this as we move on along this particular journey. You realize that the local authorities are going to be guided by what has been launched by NDPC, and they have no choice but to go by it, because the NDPC eventually may set KPIs, may set some standards, or the local authority ministry may set these standards, and the NDPC will help to monitor and ensure that, that down there, the local authorities implement these agenda to ensure that we benefit from the AfCFTA. Now, I sat down with the Director General of the NDPC to find out how feasible will this be. Are the local assemblies ready for this to domesticate and localize the AfCFTA? Is this feasible that we will see the district assemblies holding up to this whole vision of the AfCFTA and driving it?
Yeah. Yes, I have 100% hope. And I know that given the support and experience, this could be done. Every development is local. You can conceive national programs, you can conceptualize it, but the implementation and the sustainability lies with the district.
Yeah.
That is how we have organized ourselves as a country in terms of governance. And therefore, if you establish a process and it doesn't resonate with the district, definitely it can never be implemented.
Yeah.
AfTA is important in the sense that it also brings together a number of national programs. The Local Economic Development Initiative by local government, the PED, what we call Planting for Export and Rural Development, which is also by local government and Ministry of Agriculture, the Planting for Food and Jobs, and the most importantly, the 1D, 1F. You realize that a combination of this creates a very good opportunity also to facilitate the implementation of the AfTA. Yeah. And therefore, what we said was that let's develop a process where we can situate this and localize all these programs, leveraging on the AfTA opportunity to be able to implement and use that as a means to take advantage of the opportunities of AfCFTA. One of the means of really creating districts that could be sustainable is being able to identify sources of revenue and sources and resources for their own development. And at the center of this is production and productivity. At the center of this is the growth of the private sector within the districts. The small, medium, and enterprises, the sole-owned businesses in the district, how can we support them?
So you have a continental policy such as this, which is being adapted by the various nationals of the various countries.
Exactly.
And NDPC is helping to localize this at the national level here in Ghana. For a young assemblyman or woman, for a new district chief executive officer, for instance, who says, oh, this is not my core business. What is, I've heard AfCFTA, it's in Accra. Me too, I'm in Asamankese somewhere. How does this concern me? What would you say to him?
Many of the DCEs and the district officials, when you speak to them and they talk about implementation of their development plans, the first thing they tell you is that, oh, we don't have resources. The resources are not regular. We cannot even anticipate when it is coming. So what I always tell them is that, why don't we aim at creating the resources from here? If a sizable part of our resources can be created, then whatever comes from outside becomes additional.
How do they do that?
And you do that by building your own local economy. The woman who sells granite over there, for you to facilitate and improve, to add banana, to add oranges, to get a place where the woman can comfortably sit and sell, it's a key thing. Cars that park along the road and hassle for passengers. If you can have a lorry park, a car park, where cars are being arranged, and there's a place where passengers can relax, just by sitting on a stool or a bench with a cover, then you have provided an interface between the passenger and the car. So it takes thinking beyond the ordinary thing of, minuting letters. It takes thinking of how you can create. And this is where I bring to them that revenue mobilization is key, but you can't squeeze water out of stone. So you need to support where the revenue potential is, so that when it grows, you also get your dividend out of that. You also get your share, and they will readily pay for the district to mobilize revenue. This is a cycle we want to create.
So how do you get the local authorities to begin to think towards this direction?
So I believe in starting and piloting with a small number of districts, where this action of harnessing and bringing together the local economy, the AfCFTA opportunities can be seen. That is the challenge. So what NDPC is going is that we're doing training, we're facilitating with local government and the Ministry of Trade and all that, facilitating the training for everybody. But we are targeting a number of districts where this will result in real concrete action. That if I take, let's say next year or next 2 years, I can mobilize the district chief executives to go and see the difference. And for AfCFTA, we would like to take certain and adapt some districts and bring all these government programs and opportunities around them to be able to change these districts. And once we're able to identify certain changes within 1 year, we can bring it to the others. And it doesn't become theory. But it becomes a practical thing which you can go and see real change over there.
A lot of people are looking up to you in particular for this, because you have commenced a very passionate move towards this. People want to see that indeed what you are passionate about is seen and reflected, so we have tangible outcomes to reflect. But then again, there are those who are also saying, or the other school of thought who says that, look, we've had the Ghana Poverty Reduction Strategy 1, we've had the 2, we have the PAMSCAD Program of Action to Mitigate the Social Cost of Adjustment. We've had all of these come and passed. Now we have AfCFTA, which is continental, and national wants to localize it. how different will be the drive towards achieving this? And what action, concrete action, are you going to move as we end this interview to make sure that this tangible evidence of industrialization and change is seen at the local level?
Let me say that this is important. We've traveled to a lot of that, and each of them made critical impact in the lives of Ghana. What we have done today in terms of the launching of the guideline is only one step, and a very early step. The guideline indicates a definite process agreed by all the institutions and stakeholders, and that is necessary. So we have Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Local Government, National Development Planning Commission, Ghana Standards Authority, and all these are involved. The Export GEPA, Ghana Enterprise Agency, all these institutions. So the guidelines have provided a harmonized platform for us to approach the district. Once you approach the district in a harmonized form, the district then it becomes easier for them to interpret. When you go to relate to them as an institution, they know where you stand in terms of your role, in terms of your responsibility, in terms of the relationship. And that is good for the district so they don't get confused. The next thing we're going to do is go to the district. After the guideline, we go to the district, go through with them, get them to be familiar with the after.
So you're going to do district by district with this?
We're going to do
or regional?
We'll cover regional first.
Okay.
Identify some particular district for attention.
Okay.
And then others in terms of knowledge.
Okay.
What we want to do is to make sure that the vision is not just an NDPC vision, but it's a vision of the district. They buy into it. It's a national program, but they bought into it. The good thing is that there are also financial opportunities, which you can assess only if you've organized yourself. What is provided by the Ghana Enterprise Authority, what is provided by the Exim Bank, AfriBank, AfriExim at some level, and then also the big financial opportunities provided by the CARES program.
Let me find out about the border towns. Do you have a specific agenda for the border towns? So if you take some of the districts where the border towns are located, this Ketu South, where we have Sefi-Yoso, you have Elubu, Paga in the Upper East and all of that, Hamley and all those places. What plans do you have for them? Because this is where a lot of the activities when it comes to cross-border trading is going to take place.
You'll be surprised that when we did the COVID analysis, the effect analysis, these are also the districts which were most affected because the borders were closed. They depend on the borders for their business. They were the most affected. And therefore, for the last, since the beginning of this year, we've been in these very places. We've already helped them to develop a business-focused plan. Which will help them recover from the COVID and also provide a sustainable economic activity. We've done that. The next thing we've done, which is interesting, is that we've also done resource mobilization plan.
I see.
Yes, in addition to just the plan, to how to mobilize resources. You'll be surprised.
For these border towns?
Yes, for these border towns. And we had real interaction with them. They identify some of these non-traditional sources of revenue. You'll be surprised, someone indicated there are people in diaspora. Diaspora, for some of them, is Accra, Kumasi, and other places where they are doing businesses. If they organize them so they can attract them, so that they can come and invest in some of these opportunities.
As you plan to hit out there, what message would you give to the MMDCs who are waiting for you and your message?
What I would like to say is that, look, we are not there to impose anything on them. It's their own plans, which they have prepared, and we are only supporting them to implement. Implement by way of creating a very anticipated, reliable, and predictable source of financing. Predictable in the sense that if you're able to create it yourself, you can anticipate and know when it is coming. We think that the best way of getting out of this is moving from supporting primary production to real manufacturing. After it's there now, take advantage and use and leverage that to create opportunity for you to mobilize more resources so that you can respond to the development demand of your people. And I'm sure they will mention your name forever. I know some of these DCs who are immortalized, and because they initiated things which are sustainable, which have brought a change to some of these districts. You go to Asokore Mampong, when it started, it was the backyard of Kumasi. Go to Asokore Mampong today. It tells you that individuals with leadership, with vision, with the support of the technical people, can bring about a change.
Even at the local level.
Even at the local level. And that's what we're counting on. That if after we'll succeed and after will be sustainable, it has to be localized. Because that is where development begins.
So the NDPC has launched the guidelines for the local assemblies, and this is supposed to guide them effectively implement the AfCFTA at the local level. We will be tagging along with the NDPC as they move around the entire districts and municipalities to guide the authorities on how to effectively implement this. We will be tagging along and bringing you everything that you need to know, because like I said, this is a whole journey and you don't have to miss out. And in almost every district or every municipality, there is one person or the other who is creating new stuff, who is involved and engaged in entrepreneurship. We have dedicated ourselves to be unveiling some of these people from diverse localities across the entire country. This week, we are placing our focus or lenses on an innovator in Greater Accra here, or entrepreneur. Now, he's an animator, and he has the largest animation studio, I can say, in Ghana. He created the first animation studio in the country, and then he is going wild, you know, hitting the entire continent of Africa, winning big contracts from Amazon here and there. He's all over the international media. He's always been profiled, representing Ghana as far as the creative industry, the animation area is concerned, all across Africa. And he says this is the best time for him as AfCFTA is here. Should everything work out properly when it comes to the AfCFTA, he will fly.
And the winner for the Creative Arts and Support Award, my friend and a great animator in our country, Francis Brown.
Animax FYB Studios is West Africa's premium animation hub, and we happen to be the first full-time animation hub in Ghana. I attended St. John's School, Secondary. At St. John's, I was offered visual art. I also furthered my education at NAFTI, where I was offered animation. From there, the idea of what next came into my head. I felt my life was over because there was no animation studio in Ghana to employ my service, and all my aspiration was to be a storyteller, to tell authentic African stories with my skills in animation. And the third idea, which was the bold step, came into my head, which is to start my own animation studio, to start that thing that we lack in the space. So that is the birth of Animax FYB Studios. I started it off, and through the process, I was able to get some 1 or 2 talented artists to join me. So we've been able to produce a number of short films, which all have gone to festivals, animation festivals worldwide, and won some great accolades for the studio. We've also been able to work with some of the top agencies and corporations in the world, such as UNICEF, UNDP, UNESCO, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The type of stories that we actually even concentrate on a lot was historical films. We first produced the story of the migration saga of the Aves, that's on Ken Agokoli. This film took us way to student Oscars. We were shortlisted for student Oscars. We won Best Animation Film in Africa in the year 2016. 2017, myself, I won Animator of the Year at Ghana UK-based Achievement Awards. So our reputation was well built from the continental level before even being accepted back home, because over here in Ghana, the notion of animation wasn't too broad as at the time. But gradually, I've noticed that a lot of artists, digital artists, young artists are coming into the space, and a lot of corporations are also embracing animation as the most flexible and the most easiest way of consuming content. So beyond telling stories from Ghana, we've also been able to collaborate with other studios in the continent and outside the continent to tell our story. We worked with a studio from Rwanda to tell the story of their safari, and the title of that particular animation IP is Buhari on Safari. We also worked with some South Africa studio to work on a piece called Time Sliders, and Time Sliders is an historical stuff that talks about youth, futurism, and also technology. So the children travel back in time to tell a particular story on the continent. We also worked with an American studio which also has an office in Egypt to tell the story of the great Alexander in Egypt. So, but it's a fantastic film which has a bit of fantasy and a mix of history. The title is Busang and it's yet to be out. We have also been able to work with studios in Canada to produce short films. I also sit on panels to talk about creativity and animation in Africa. Recently in the past and recently I've been able to talk on Comic-Con New York. I've also been on panels like Africa Summit. I also went to Meta Cinema Forum at Dubai, where we happen to be the only animation studio from Africa to represent, and it is the biggest cinema forum in the MENA region, to show the possibilities and the potentials in our market and how best we can also leverage on their market to develop and foster a stronger collaboration and relationship. What I'm trying to also do, not just as a creative, but also as a change maker in the industry, is to help shape policies. So I've been working with the Ghana National Film Authority to build a robust system and structures that will help the animators in the country to thrive. I've been made the creative director of You Wish Africa. And You Wish Africa is being founded by Baron Davis, the Basketball Hall of Fame Baron Davis. The headquarters is at Delaware, and in Africa, we just recently launched You Wish Africa, which I'm the head over here. Our main aim is to be able to truly export the stories that we create here to the larger audiences, to big screens, because what we lack in Africa or in Ghana is that we have great talent who are producing awesome stuff, but unfortunately we lack distribution. So You Wish Africa is here to bridge that gap of audience seeing the great works that people are producing out here. Animation can make you one of the richest people on earth if you want to be, because the industry is $1 trillion industry, and unfortunately from Africa we've not been able to step into that revenue yet because we've not been developing content on that level. But with our new day and new age digital technology, a lot of artists are coming up, and if you gather yourselves, work on a very brilliant idea to present or to pitch to any serious studio, you are guaranteed to win some cash or to win some production budget to produce your films. And once you enter into box office, that is money right there for you. Example of something like that we did at Animax FYB Studios was our debut kids content, that is Mofra. We were able to produce a 70-minute animation piece for children consumption. And fortunately for us, it got picked up by Amazon Prime. That made us the first African studio to be able to achieve such a feat. And I pray and hope that a lot of other people too will emulate this this bold step that we made to step into the field for us all to win. Unfortunately, anything that has been produced from Africa came from a big studio like Disney or Pixar or any of those studios, Cartoon Network, Nickelodeons. And we can all attest to the fact how much they made from such content. Once you put Africa on the backdrop of any content and the production value is very good, you are guaranteed to hit the box office and break it. What we find ourselves doing is to collaborate around the continent. So me being in Ghana, we would have other people from Nigeria, South Africa, Senegal, Egypt to work with. But it also comes with a lot of other challenges, like coming to get visas before you can travel. Meanwhile, maybe you can get a call that you need to be in a country the next day or some few hours. But unfortunately, because you don't have a visa, your talents can't be exported to that country to make a living for yourself. When we look at the currencies, through the exchange, the transfers, by the time you're done exchanging or transferring your funds from a stronger currency to your currency, or your currency being the stronger to a bit of a weaker currency, there is a bit of soft power over there when it comes to the money. So I'm so glad that we have AfCFTA here now to bridge some of these things for us, where once you walk into a territory, it is like everything is normalized. It's almost as if you are in your country, or that country you are a citizen. After being put in place, will make our lives very flexible in the sense that there will be a free flow of movement in and out of countries to be able to render our services. Looking at our neighboring brother country, that is Nigeria, with their Nollywood industry. It is the biggest in Africa and the second biggest in the world. So it only makes it easier for someone like me to be able to enter Nigeria at any given time, to go collaborate and bring Nigerians to Ghana to collaborate with me without going through a lot of hustle. So I'm very happy that we have AfCFTA now, and I'm hopeful that it will be built stronger and it will be accepted by all for us to be able to build that one Africa that we are all looking for. As Animax FYB Studios has made greater strides in the industry globally, it only makes sense for us to now make some giant steps in Africa. Now we are more or less one of the leading animation studio on the continent. And with AfCFTA, and looking at Nollywood, which is a neighboring country, Nigeria, being the second biggest market in the world, it only makes sense for us to be able to penetrate into that market, collaborate with people there, build the animation industry there, so that we can use this new form of storytelling to conquer the world in general.
So our innovator for this week believes that with AfCFTA, he will be able to storm the entire continental market and spread everywhere, even go beyond it. He hopes to crack the Nollywood market. He believes that he can penetrate into that market with the oncoming of AfCFTA. Now, if you listen to Brown carefully, he's telling the stories of Africa in that animated form. And this is the best time that the academia, the historians who know history better, it's the best opportunity to collaborate with somebody like Brown and take the story of Africa far with AfCFTA as a driving wheel. So as I announced earlier, the president of Nigeria, President Buhari, for instance, is asking his folks there to localize the AfCFTA. That plus many more events and news that are happening around the AfCFTA vision coming up next. President Muhammadu Buhari wants the National Assembly of Nigeria to set in motion modalities to domesticate the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, AfCFTA. The president, who spoke through his senior special assistant on public sector matters and secretary of the National Action Committee on AfCFTA, Francis Anatogu, said the objective of the AfCFTA will help to deepen economic integration of the continent, improve and expand intra-Africa trade, enable rule-based engagement, facilitating dispute resolution, and addressing injurious trade practices. Urging stakeholders to facilitate the domestication of AfCFTA in accordance with Nigeria's laws in order to ensure utmost benefits accrues to Nigeria. Urging stakeholders to facilitate the domestication of AfCFTA in accordance with Nigeria's laws in order to ensure utmost benefits accrues to Nigeria. Professor of International Economic Relations at Covenant University, who doubles as a consultant of ECOWAS Common Investment Market, John Aremu, during a presentation on conceptual issues in African integration and emergence of AfCFTA, and its protocol, said while it is right for Nigeria to ratify the agreement, the Constitution provides that such treaties entered into by the state can only become beneficial to the nation if it has a place in Nigerian law to guarantee effective enforceability. Aremu further stated that failure or lateness for Nigeria to domesticate AfCFTA will cause unreasonable hardship on other AU member states that intend to have a commercial relationship with Nigeria under the continental economic integration. He also advocated the need for the upgrade of the overall quality of the nation's physical infrastructure to complement the AfCFTA agenda. The German Development Corporation, or GIZ, is facilitating an ongoing awareness engagement with the African Union to ensure greater security for citizens and visitors, while guaranteeing the respect for the rule of law and human rights standards at the various borders of Ghana and West Africa. The technical awareness workshop, which brought together members from immigration and police services, customs and health agencies of the various countries, and ECOWAS Directorate of Free Movement and Tourism, seeks to contribute to the development of the long-term capability of Ghana and West Africa's borders control authorities to update border management information and communication systems and to ensure greater securities at the borders. The workshop also aims at fostering closer collaboration between Ghana and its neighboring countries to enhance exchange of data and information between border control authorities, discuss issues related to border management and security in the cross-border areas of Ghana with Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire and Togo, and identify policy solutions for international cooperation in border management and their means of implementation. The stakeholders are of the views that such objectives will lay the foundation for growing cross-border and intra-Africa trade within the West African sub-region. And the Young Entrepreneurs Summit and Expo will be taking place in Accra, Ghana, at the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel under the auspices of Ghana Chamber of Young Entrepreneurs, with support from the German Development Corporation, GIZ, NEIP, Youth Employment Agency, Participatory Development Associate, and the Private Enterprise Foundation. The weather report for all African cities by kind courtesy of the Ghana Meteorological Services is coming your way. And if you have to catch a flight from the commercial capital of Africa, that's Accra, to the rest of the African cities, that schedule is coming your way by kind courtesy of the Ghana Airport Company Limited. Also, the forex rate for the African market is coming your way, as well as the status of the AfCFTA party states. That's it for the Single African Market. Thank you for watching the program, and I hope that we have been able to get you closer to this whole vision of the continent integrating its market. We will be hitting every corner to let you know what's happening there. The local authorities, the local assemblies. In the coming days, we'll be at the University of Ghana Law School for you to listen to the views, very interesting views that's been espoused by some of the young law students there. We'll also be talking to the lawyers and to find out how well they are preparing towards all of these because the AfCFTA hinges a lot on rules and a lot of legalities will also be playing. Therefore, you need to understand all of that. We'll find out how the lawyers are understanding this. Plus, many more innovators, entrepreneurs. Share your comments with us. Thank you for watching. See you same time next week. In the name of great Africa, is the fight and conquer now. In the name of grace.